breakfast, which would mean that it's time for us to get inspired. Returning with us is Dr. Akinyimi. Good to see you.
Thank you, Jay.
Always looking forward to our conversation.
Me too.
And you brought along a guest this morning.
Yes, I did.
Mr. Maina Azimio, who is the founder and CEO of Azima Wellness Consultants. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about wellness and what that actually means in all aspects of our life. So perhaps let's define what wellness is.
Let me tell you what I had in mind. Okay. You know, it's the fact that a lot of times people think life is an either-or. Either succeed in business and not succeed in relationships and so on. But I found out that we can have it all. You know, we can have great businesses, great careers, great relationships. We are well in our bodies. We are well mentally. We are well emotionally. You know, and I found out that if we can learn how to put all those things in place, I think we'll have a more fruitful life. And you know, I've been talking about Drive, my new book. And once one of those things is broken, we lack drive. And so, Mina is an expert in wellness. The guy, I have seen him climb mountains. Now he's planning to climb Everest. He climbed Kilimanjaro. And you know, the annoying thing is I introduced him to that whole thing.
Right.
And the only thing I climb is my staircase. You know what I mean? It is so annoying. So I thought this gentleman needs to inspire this country.
So Mina, what was it that drew you to the world of wellness, to the point that you opened up your own consultation firm?
Thank you. I have been on a journey. And my journey started when I was in school. I was active in sports. But when I started working, as usual, I settled. And because when you are working and you are earning, you start spending, I started ballooning. As you see me now, I was 95 kgs.
Wow.
95 at my height. So when I was turning 50, my doctor told me that I am overloading my body organs. With my height and my weight, I'm overloading my organs, which are aging with my age. And after some conversation, I actually felt I needed to make a change. So I know myself then when I was 95, and when I shed the weight, I went to the gym, worked on it to get to my BMI. I did it, and when I achieved it, I had so much energy within me, which I didn't used to have that time. I was climbing staircase, like he is saying.
Not mountains yet.
Yes, and in the house, not in the office. My office third floor, I could not go by stairs. I was taking the lift. So what happened is that after I was able to bring down my weight, I had a lot of energy. God is a destiny connector. He connected me to my brother, Dr. Wali. So that's around the time that they were organizing for climbing Mount Kilimanjaro with Nana Wanjao and Rotary, Henry Wanyoike. And because I was feeling I needed to exercise the energy that reserve that I had gained after I shed my weight, I joined. I went one climb with him out to Williams, and he was not able to finish. I can say that. So I continued. And because of the kind of energy that I was feeling that I have always wanted to conquer everything that comes my way. But that's half the story. Because it is not the physical aspect alone. There's a bigger purpose. That is physical fitness, but the wellness. What is wellness? Wellness, to take up from where he left. Wellness is a process of learning about and engaging in activities that are likely to lead to optimum health if practiced properly and consistently.
Right. So
it is the process of learning, getting people to learn, that spurred me to start Azima Wellness Consultants. I have a team of consultants that we handle different pillars of wellness. And what I zeroed in on is health wellness. Today, Monday, we do health wellness. So always in the morning, I wake people up at 5 a.m. and tell them to go to the gym. I have got a chat group where I have got about 700 people.
Wow.
Every morning I wake up in the morning and I give them the work program that we're going to do, because we need to sweat so that our body can detoxify. So I call them up. We get to working. Before you go for shower and your breakfast and you start your day, Like I did that early in the morning. Personally, I wake up at 3 a.m. By 3:15, I'm in the gym.
Wow.
4 a.m. I'm 3.
I thought I wake up early, but
I do 3
another level.
Yes.
Right.
I learned it from him.
I wake up at 2:30.
2:30 a.m. Yeah.
Okay.
So when
I'm like, what time do you sleep? Okay.
When I got him, I started that. So after we do that, today Monday we normally handle health wellness, because this body that we have, it has no spare. I have traveled this world. I've never got any shopping mall that sell body parts. Take care of what you have. Otherwise, if you don't, it's going to hit you hard. So today we normally dedicate Mondays to health wellness, and we look at it holistically in all its aspects. Tomorrow we'll be talking about mental wellness.
And let's sort of define what that is, because when you think about wellness, I think you know, people just think health wise, and taking care of my body. But mentally, what does that mean to have mental wellness?
You know, a lot of people, they only read to pass exams. So once you are through with school, you stop reading. And you know, I think it's pretty. How do we read to pass the exam of school, and we are not developing our minds to pass the exam of life? That is where a lot of problems happen. Because the truth is, once you conquer in your mind, then you are on your way to conquering other areas. My specialty is helping to get people to think different. Think different about yourself, think different about your circumstances, think different about things happening around you, because our actions are based on our perceptions of what is happening around us. So if we can think differently, then that changes everything. So some people go to a place like Lagos and say, oh my God, too many people, what a crowd. You know, and then someone else goes to the same place and says, what a business opportunity. You know, so it starts here, and that's what I focus on. But then he had now developed these other pillars that I think is very, very, very crucial. Because the truth is, if you have this alone, you know, but you've not developed yourself emotionally, that means you can become a lonely genius. Because you are so intelligent, but you don't know how to manage relationships. And a lot of people are there. In fact, Harvard did a study, and the #1 reason why intelligent executives fail is not because they lack intelligence, it's because they lack the ability, the emotional connection with people. And you know, at a point in your career, or when you first start working, what is important and what people want to know is the grade you scored in school.
Right.
But the higher you rise, that diminishes. And then what people want to know is, can you do the job? And how do you do the job? By being able to manage people, lead people. And that's not just a function of intellect, it's a function of emotions. That's why, take a company like Kenya Airways or an airline, the CEO does not have to be a pilot. He just needs to be able to make the connection with people.
Yeah, to be able to manage them. So we've talked about health, mental, emotional. There's another pillar. Do you want to speak about that?
Yes, let me say something small about the mental before we go to financial. There are 4 pillars. So what I discovered is that IQ, intelligence content, does not determine who you become and how successful you will become. Because if you want to see the most who are most intelligent, then the universities, the professors, these are not the most successful people we have in this world. In Kenya, if you look at the people who are running mega businesses, they are not high performance in the area of IQ. There's something else that makes you successful. If the professors in the university were the epitome of success in life, we would say that we would see the connection of IQ with success in life, but it does not happen that way. There's what we call emotional wellness, emotional intelligence, that determines more than what IQ determines. So what we do is that when we look at the mental space, what you believe is what happens. If you think you will succeed to reduce your weight, like now when I believe that I could reduce my weight from 95 to 60, and I went to the gym and worked on it, I continued working and pounding, it came down. I had other people who we started together, but they were 50-50. They did not make it. Same case happens when you go to climbing a mountain. If you believe you can conquer Mount Kenya, one step at a time. One step at a time. We do for 4 days. One step at a time until you get to the summit. Now I'm preparing to do Everest. I believe because I have done all the other mountains in Africa.
Joy is shaking.
No, because I watched documentaries about people climbing Everest and
I have got the conviction. There's no mountain that I have tried and I did not succeed. Because I have got that conviction. You know, the mind is very powerful. The moment you take control of your thinking and you believe that you can, nothing will defeat you. And it is not just in the physical realm. Even in business, even in relationship, and anything you do. So for the health to happen, you must first and foremost think about it. Because what you eat, again, is a function of your brain. When you go for lunch with him, what he'll choose to eat is a function of the brain. So when the brain tells him that chicken and chips is a good meal, that's what he'll order for. When my brain tells me that that is not good food, I will not order for that. So I must first win at the mental level to enable me to make the right choices and move forward.
Well, you know, there might be somebody watching who maybe has some type of mental disorder, because that also can stand in the way of you just saying, you know, it's easy to say, think in your mind, everything will work out. But what about someone who maybe struggles with depression or any one of these type of diseases? How do you advise that person to get over their obstacle?
You know, depression, and I'm happy you brought that up, because incidentally, cases of depression are very rampant now, especially amongst the youth. A lot of, you know, it's really rising. And when you look at it, just like my nice saying, it starts from your perception of yourself. Now, Joe, you'll be amazed at the things that throw our young people into depression. You put up a post and people didn't like it on Facebook. So, rejection is one of the key catalysts for depression. That is why we must start in our mind. Nobody can successfully reject somebody who has accepted himself. You think me I can be rejected, Joey? Me, I loved myself before I came here. When I leave this place, I'll like myself. It is the right of people to dislike me if they want. You know, and I made up my mind, those who will like me will like me. Those who will not, will not. But one thing is certain, you will not ignore me. You know, so my message to people is, accept yourself. I've said it here before. You are a Picasso to somebody. Everybody is a genius. They just need to be told. They just need to see. And don't focus on the things for which you are weak. When you enhance the areas of your strengths, it will build the confidence to begin to challenge the areas of weakness. But you see, many people want to dive in straight into the areas of their weakness, which was last week we were talking about my little thing. You know, when you start with your little thing, then you will move to the big thing. So depression is very difficult for people who have accepted themselves. You know, it's very difficult for people who say, you know what, my life is not defined by what happens outside. So I call you, you don't pick the phone. I'm not going to get upset that Joy doesn't like me. She's on set, she's on air. That, you know, and one of the ways that I do that is I always look for excuses for people.
Right, I think most of us are guilty of
I look for an excuse for someone. Let me tell you something. My dad died 2 days ago. Okay, my dad is was my best friend, one of the most brilliant people I know. You met him. And now, I asked myself, and I talk about, this guy was 78. Okay, he looked 50. Now, and this might almost sound like I'm contradicting what we're talking about, but no, I am pushing it up. My father, he never did exercise. He never went to the gym. He ate all the most horrible things you can imagine. He, at 70-something, his eating was bad, his drinking was bad. I said, Dad, you're drinking these things, it's not good for you. He said, if it was going to kill me, it should have killed me many years ago. Okay? But when I look at my father, you know one thing he had going for him? He accepted himself and he never allowed anybody to stress him. I never saw my father gossip about people. I never saw him talk down about people. I never, let me tell you, once your inside is clean, it has a way of manifesting. You know, I think and this may sound cliche, but I think the number one solution to the problems of humanity is love. If we have that in our heart, love causes me to accept myself, and then I look at somebody and I realize, hey, that could have been me. So what can I do to help this person? Once we have that and we have accepted ourselves, then it's difficult for rejection to happen. As long as I was putting up things for people to like, for people to accept, I would get frustrated. But now I'm putting up things out of the conviction of my heart. Whether you like it or not, it's irrelevant. You know, I have come to that place, so I am at one with myself. And I think that's the message. I tell people who are going on maybe sales, or you're pitching an idea, like somebody maybe, you have an idea, you want to go out with it and all that. You know, your first response when you get out there is likely to be a no. But you see, the second one may also be a no. But one of the things I have said is, the more no's I get, the closer to a yes I come. You know? And I'm not just going to take a no and then go and repeat it exactly the same way. I will take no and find out, what do I need to do next? My son is a DJ. He had his first gig on Saturday, went out there, and he said he made losses. I said, welcome to the club.
You're on your way.
You're on your way. Because nobody has a success story that is a straight line. Nobody. If you have a friend, this guy is in America, he makes $1 million every week. I said, Mike, you have too much money. How do you do it?
Right. I was going to ask
you know, how do you do it? And he told me some very important things. He said, number one, I never hire anybody who has not failed before. I said, why not? He said, because people who have not failed, when they come, if the organization is going through a little turbulence, they will freak out and think, oh my God, it's like somebody who has never been on a plane before. And you are in the air and the plane is moving like this, you know, with turbulence. You will be scared. But if you have been there over and over, then you slip through the turbulence. So he said, I don't hire people who have never failed before because they can't handle turbulence. And he said, their day is coming. And I don't want that day to happen when they are working with me. You know?
Yeah.
And so when I looked at that, so I want to encourage anybody who is watching that rejection will happen. Failure will happen. You know? But the key thing is you don't reject yourself. You know? When I said, look, I may even have done what you said I did, but I am not who you say I am.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just getting to financial wellness as well. I'm sure that will interest quite a number of people watching. I feel like all the other types of wellness are ones that we might be able to work on, but if you have no money in your pocket,
Sure.
How does that work?
I would want us to finish with the financial, because financial is the elephant in the room, but the emotional ones is very key before we go to the financial, because we are creatures of emotions. And in fact, like what my brother is saying here, is that if you allow emotions to get the better of you, you will get into a depression. This world is a very negative world. Negative. In fact, the people who you think are your very good friends and you expect them to empathize with you and support you are the one who backbite you.
Right.
So what do you do when you hear your best friend is the one who is talking ill of you or working against you? You need to have mental fortitude and emotional intelligence, so that you do not allow what other people say or do or think about you to affect you. And in fact, emotions are actually what differentiate between success and failure.
Okay.
That's why his friend only hires people who have gone through that depression of emotions, because it is emotion that get depressed. When you allow it to take you down, you will not come back. But if you can resist that, you are good to go. I like now we are going through high octane politics in this country.
Oh yes.
It requires a lot of emotional control to keep going. I have a lot of respect to the IBC team, because what they are getting hit from both sides. from both sides. If they don't have emotional control, they'll give up. So what I'm saying is that in this life, what I've discovered is that the way our body system work, our central nervous system is on the spine. So anything that you hear, even the words that we're hearing now, they don't get to the brain through the ears. The ears send the message to the central nervous system in a magnetic wave. Then it comes in through the spinal to the brain. So when it enters the skull, the brain first is come to the limbic system. The limbic system, that is the area where emotions are interpreted. Then the logical brain, it's up, the neocortex, it's up past the emotions. That's why everything you hear first, you react first emotionally. Like now he heard, okay, father passed away. The first thing is the emotions. But because he already has got emotional intelligence, when it came, he knew he could not change what has happened. He went down, thought about it, allowed that message to go past the limbic system, it went to the brain. So when somebody passed out, thank God for the years he has been living with us. By the way, your dad has been very good. He has been with us and he has taken us through a lot. So we should thank God for that.
Oh yeah.
Not that we wanted him to go, but he has gone. You can't bring him back.
We change it.
You can't bring him
now
back.
We have a country to move forward.
Yes. You see, if it's another person, would be in the studio today. He's not buried his father, but he's here.
That was my first thought, actually. You know, just thinking of how composed and you see.
Yes.
So this is something that everyone is capable of.
Yes. So we needed to train people. That's why, as a wellness consultant, what we do is that we train people how to take control of your emotions, because that is the heart of the matter. If you don't control that, even businesses are failing because staff are getting affected by many things happening around. We'll go to the financial, then you see the connection between the four pillars. So when your health is okay, because again when your body is not okay, you are not going even to be able to wake up. So you must take care of this, the only body we have. Then you come now to the mind, because the mind thinks and sees everything that comes in. You should be able to have strong mind to be able to resist all the factors that are coming to bring you down. Your emotions comes in. When your emotions are incongruent and you're in control, anything that comes, you hold it at ease and you process it. Because again, our capacity to process information that come to us depends on our strength in the brain. So if we do not have this happening with us, we are going to suck in. Now, after you have handled the health, you have handled the mental and emotions, you need resources to implement all these things, because you might have very good thoughts. You know where you want to live. You know this is where you want to start. You know, but yes, you know when you go for holiday, you have no money. You have thought about it very well. So what is the problem here? I'm now in my mid-50s, and over the years I have discovered one thing. Africa, we have one major problem: how we relate with money. How we relate with money. The moment you start earning your own money, because we start first renting money from parents' money, pocket money. Those who went to boarding school, pocket money. So you learn how to scale your money before the next closing day, or if there will be half term, or if you will be school visiting. So the pocket money you are given, you manage it, which is good. Those people who stay at home don't learn that early lesson. So the moment that you have learned how to manage your pocket money until the time you close school, you start getting the first lessons. The second one comes in when you go to college now, because now it's a bigger level. And you can also get some jobs during holidays. We normally give interns work in our company. So you give them their own money, they start managing that money. During our time in university, we used to stay in the halls of residence and you are being given boom. We used to receive boom. In fact, we used to support home with the boom that we are getting in the university. When it was changing that students will pay their fees in the university, there were a lot of strikes. They are going to be staying outside the universities. They stay on their own. Even those who stay inside, they actually pay differently. It was a very big change of the way we were organizing our education system. Personally, at that time I had thought it is not a good thing. But when I came to think about it in a different way, I found we are making grown-ups out of our students at an early age. And this is something very good that is happening now. They are maturing early. So what has happened is that if you come from, like now Dr. Wale, his children now, they stay with him. They go to school. So the moment they start earning, they have not stayed on their own to be able to know how to scale out money. They'll go and the circle of friends they start operating in, what they do is what they become. So we become now spendthrift. You had this.
If we don't know any better, we can't.
You can't do anything else. You have had thing called instant gratification. Now we have got an iPhone X. You want iPhone X, and you can even borrow money. Nowadays there's a lot of quick money, digital money. So you just get it. You can borrow money from your cooperative, you can borrow money from your employer, you can borrow money from the digital platforms, so you get what you want. You want a car, you just buy. You do not look at your income and balance it out with your expenses. So if you can't get enough money to spend, you borrow. And this is the biggest problem that we are having. Kenyans, we are not trained to make money. We earn.
Yes.
Like now, I'm sorry, Joy. If what you earn here is all what you live on, you are not going to grow. So what we need to do is to teach our people how to create extra streams of income. Because you can see the retrenchments that are happening in this country. Families are getting depressed. You can imagine the companies which are going through turbulence. If Nakumat has employed more than 4,000 people, and they are not able to balance out things, if Equity Bank is retrenching staff, if Family Bank is retrenching staff, if Kenya Airways is having turbulence, you can imagine those people who have been earning and they have been put off the earning level. What happens? Most of them have got a car loan, they have got a mortgage, household mortgage, and then the company has gone down. The company is retrenching, you're in debt.
No source of income.
So what happens? Depression. That's why depression, the way you talked about depression, is happening. So what we need to do, Dr. Ari, is that we need to empower Africans, because this one area that we have performing very poorly. I struggled for the longest time in my life how to balance my finances. Because I'm lucky, because I worked for 8 years only after I left college. I felt underutilized. I'm only a fired person. So when I found that I was not having much problem with the job, but I was being underutilized, I quit after 8 years. My dad was against it, but altogether I quit. And this is the best decision I ever made in my life, quitting employment. I started business, and business did well. Actually, I'm a prolific entrepreneur. I have found about 10 companies so far.
Wow.
I have sold 3, 4 of them failed flat, and they left me with a lot of debt. I came back. Now I'm running 4 different companies. So what happened is that after I learned how to relate with money, I decided that I need to teach people what they need to do at what stage in their life. Because you have got basically 4 stages in life with money. We have got the navigation stage when I was talking about getting money from your parents and pocket money. So you get introduced to money. That goes between age 10 up to 18, 23 when you're in school. When you start working, what you earn, we call that stage multiplication. So the money you earn, don't spend it all. Invest that money. Multiply that money. That money is seed capital. What do you do with a seed? You plant a seed and multiply. 1 seed of maize, if you plant, you get a cob. So the first money that you receive, after you pay your bills, house rent, food, those, don't go for so much at the first time you start earning. Invest that money and let it multiply for you. So in the 20s, and 20s is the critical decade. If you don't do those things during 20s, you'll pay later. Then you come to the 30s. 30s we call wealth accumulation stage. You have multiplied, then you accumulate. So this area of accumulation, most of us don't know it. In fact, we jump the multiplication because we spend instant gratification. What you see people living in Hollywood, that is what you want to do. Then you don't accumulate well. You spend. When you are spending, you are not accumulating. Then after accumulation, we go to consolidation. You have to consolidate your wealth because you are preparing now for your retirement. One lesson that I'm teaching people is that with the kind of lifestyle we are living now, we are enjoying life longevity. And if you look at this Kenya, very good example. I like giving example of Sir Charles Janjo. He's now in 98 years. 98. Look at Manu Chandaria. He's 88 years. Look at Mudu Aori. He's 90 years. Look at our former President Moi. He's 94 years. What I'm saying is that when people retire at 60, they have got another 40 years to live. What did you do for 40 years after they retire?
Well, as you're talking about this, I'm thinking a lot of young people, we have this mentality of, just live for today.
No.
Just live for today. Tomorrow will worry about itself. What would you think?
I even want to ask him a question. I'm thinking of the person who is at the age where you say is the age of consolidation.
Yes.
But is hearing this for the first time.
Yes.
Okay? What do you say to such a person?
No problem, because you see what we are doing here, we know that people don't know, and that's why Azima Wellness Consultant exists.
Okay.
It is occupying this space because we do not know, and I don't blame them for making the mistake they have made. It is now that the time to start. If you did not go through wealth multiplication, and you are at the age where you are supposed to be doing consolidation, let alone any accumulation, you have to start at multiplication. Multiply what you have.
So, what are you? So, a person who is say 60,
yes, 60 years,
or 55, is listening to you right now.
Yes,
that person is employed, about to retire, doesn't know what he's going to do with his life, has no money, has no investment, has nothing, you know, has been a spendthrift and all that. So, what is the way out for such a person?
His case is a bit difficult, but we handle them very well. Because one of the things that Kenyans have not taken in is how money is made. Well, the creation is a formula. Simple and clear.
Share the formula.
I agree.
Share the formula.
So, wealth creation is a formula. Like I normally say that at home, I stay with my family here. Our house manager knows how to make chapati. If you give me the duff to make chapati, I make very hard chapatis. I cannot even be able to make that thing round. But Hash is very good in that area. So each person has his area of brilliance. And the way God made us, we learn by repetition. Repetition. You don't just wake up and go to the kitchen and make burugari. You don't know how to do it. So you will do it and it is not going to come out. Now in the area of wealth, because we've not been trained that way, we need to start telling our people how it is done. Let me say this. The only way to make money is to solve a problem. Solve somebody's problem.
Find a need.
Yes. And come in and solve that need. Kenya, we have so many problems, by the way. Africa, by the way, we have so many opportunities. Do you know, anytime I see a problem, I see an opportunity. I was talking to some group on Saturday. I was making a talk, and I was telling people that the political environment that we're having now, let us look at the business opportunities that you can tap into. Because in every cloud, there is a silver lining. And the moment you discover how to make that money, it will take you a bit longer duration because, again, let's face it, for reality, when you are old, you are slow. You cannot be as active as a young person. And if you look, especially innovation, men, we are at our best between 18 years and 26 years. That's the time our creative juices are at the highest. For ladies, it starts around 26 up to 38. In fact, God made it like that. You first start children and you finish that, then you get to your best. If you look at all the people who have now given us the technology we are using, Bill Gates, he started Microsoft in the university. He left university, not finished. He was in 20s. Look at Steve Jobs. When Steve Wozniak called him in, he was 21 years. Look at Zuckerberg. He was in school also in Harvard. Look at Sir Richard Branson. He also left university and started. No, he don't go to university. He was in secondary school. He went to the garage and started making money. So what I'm saying is that at your young age, when you don't have many things disturbing you, you are very creative, and you can bring out the creative best. For ladies, they go up to 36, 37 years. So if you are taking in the best in you during your early age, you make your life much easier. But you can never say die. Look at KFC. Colonel Sanders. He started at what years? 65. So I was answering your question now.
So
the person who is 60, you just need to have a formula.
We're just almost about out of time, so I'm going to take some final comments from each of you. We'll start with you, Maina, and move on to Dr. Wale. Just on everything we've been talking about today, any advice for our viewers at home?
Yes, I want to advise Kenyans who are listening to us today that we have hope to make our lives better than what we are. The thing we need to do is to understand what the ecosystem you're operating in. Like Dr. Wale always says, terrain. Which terrain are you in? A crocodile in water will defeat a lion in water. But a lion will defeat a crocodile out of water. So it's the terrain. We need to make this terrain out of going for employment to being wealth creators. Wealth creation, I said, is a formula. So I hope we'll get another time because you say time is going, because I wanted to share the wealth creation formula.
Yeah, sadly we are just about out of time. I'll take final comments from Dr. Wale.
Well, I think I am very passionate about the person who has goofed and who has given up on themselves. And I am saying there's hope. Like I said earlier, nobody can reject the person who has not rejected themselves. Even if you are older, you find yourself in a pit, you know, it's never too late to start again. And today is the first day of your new life.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a very eye-opening conversation. As you mentioned, Mina, perhaps we can do this again sometime, and I hope that you have been inspired and working towards, you know, creating wellness in all aspects of your life. Citizen Extra is coming up next here on Citizen TV, so do stay tuned. We will see you back here tomorrow.